Question number 4, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to...
Order. I want to hear Metiria Turei.
My question is to the Prime Minister and asks, does he stand by his reported statement of 30 May, quote, "Are we deeply unequal? I'm not sure that's right. I haven't had a really good look," end quote.
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, the statement as reported is not a correct reflection of what the Prime Minister said. He does stand by the full statement that he made.
Metiria Turei.
Is the Prime Minister aware that Treasury officials have had a really good look at inequality, and in their recent report on living standards in New Zealand said that New Zealand is the 7th most unequal country in the OECD?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I am quite certain Treasury's had a close look at inequality, because in the analysis we've done, for instance, on the tax package, on the recent changes in the 2011 budget, we've ensured that they do consider the impact on the general sense of fairness in our income support system. It does lead us, I think, all to reflect on the fact that when we had 10 years of plenty and large increases in government transfers, it doesn't appear to have had much impact on the extent of inequality in New Zealand incomes between 2000 and 2010.
Metiria Turei.
Would it also help to answer his question, are we deeply unequal, to know that according to Treasury, the top 10% of households in New Zealand own 500 times more than the bottom 10%?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, there's, as the member will know, a whole range of measures of inequality, ranging from the raw market incomes and how unequal they are. That then changes when you take into account government transfers, which a lot of the international measures do not. And New Zealand has quite significant government transfers between high income and low income New Zealanders. And then there are inequalities of the holdings of wealth, and in that respect, the holdings of assets, and in that respect, New Zealand reflects the reality of most developed economies, which is that when, for instance, an individual farmer owns an asset worth $10 million, that he's in a much stronger wealth position than someone who's on the minimum wage and owes nothing.
Metiria Turei.
Is the Prime Minister aware that his own Chief Science Advisor, Sir Peter Gluckman, has also had a really good look at the impact of inequality on children and found a number of links between inequality and poor child health and development problems?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the Chief Scientist has had a look at those issues, and so has the government. And with respect to an issue such as child health, I think the government can claim two measures which are having a significant impact, and I think most people support them. One is higher immunisation rates, and they are now the highest they have been in a generation, which is good. And secondly, the rollout of the insulation program, which has now reached 100,000 households, and that is biased towards lower income New Zealanders. It's been often said there are significant health benefits from it, and we will get to see just how significant they are.
Metiria Turei.
Does the Prime Minister now accept the evidence from Treasury and from his own Chief Science Advisor that New Zealand is a deeply unequal country, and if he doesn't accept that advice, whose evidence is he relying on this matter?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, I don't accept the view that we are, a deeply unequal country. I don't think the evidence suggests that, and people drawing that conclusion are wrong. Of course, the big issue about inequality is what you do about it. That has always been the challenge. And the challenge, because the fact is, people who lose jobs or get stuck in welfare dependency are by far find themselves in by far the worst position in a society, and this government is actively moving to break some of those cycles of dependency and poverty.
Metiria Turei.
In light of the evidence from Treasury and his own Chief Science Advisor, will the Prime Minister commit to rejecting any recommendations from the Welfare Working Group report that will increase and will be shown to increase inequality?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, having had a very good look at the Welfare Working Group report, I don't see any recommendations there that will increase inequality. What those recommendations will do is give more people access to the world of work, and that is the best way to reduce inequality. The other thing it will do is it will break the pattern of the previous government, which was to leave hundreds of thousands of New Zealanders marooned on long-term benefits and do absolutely nothing about it.